Welcome back to Pick 6 Athletics. Today we're going to look at how to train like an NFL defensive back. We got 5 main pillars, so you have to hit each one in your training. And if you fail to do so, you'll never reach your full potential or become the type of player you want to become, and you will die unsatisfied. So make sure you pay attention to the video and never ignore any parts of your training. So number 1, of course, is your speed and strength. The better your athletic abilities are, the easier all of your jobs will be. If you're covering a receiver, you could afford to lose a step because you know you'll be able to close the space if you have lots of speed. And for strength, getting off blocks, making tackles, fitting up with someone, all of that just becomes easier the stronger you get. So those are 2 things you always have to work on. For speed, you should be training it 3-4 times a week, getting some max effort sprints in, acceleration work, and doing tempo runs as well to work on your form. Strength, you should be in the weight room, say between 2 or 4 times a week, depending on how hard the lifts are, and always working to improve yourself, get leaner, put on a bit of size, depending where you're at, and always try to get stronger, because you're either getting better or you're getting worse. Now, aside from just getting stronger, getting more mass, strength is a big part of health too. Now, if you don't train your hamstrings, or do your hamstring curls, your Nordics, whatever, first of all, watch this video. Second, that's going to lead to injury. You have to have strong muscles, so when you use them on the field, they don't get hurt. If you don't work out your muscles properly, they're going to get hurt when you need them the most. And you don't have to train like a bodybuilder. Just have an all-around base of strength, have a healthy body, because there's a lot of contact in football, so you got to be strong, and do lots of explosive lifts, because when you translate it to the field, that's all going to help you out with your speed and strength. Next thing is doing drills to work on your breaks and also different DB skills such as your eyes. So this is what makes you a DB. Your ability to change the direction after you pedal, shuffle, or press. That's all we pretty much do. So you do some drills like, press man, releases, reading his body language, then making sure on your breaks you're working out all the angles, pedal, shuffle back, 45, 90, 135, straight back. And then running breaks as well, open, hip flip, come back, all of that. So you need to do things like that to make you a DB. But the second part of this one is translating it to the field when you're playing a game. So do drills in practice, such as doing like 3-man cluster or 2-man stack, working with your teammate to communicate it, what you see, call who as who. It's one thing to work on agility drills and all the angles out of your breaks, but the best DBs work on their eyes too. Drills that work on where you need to look, how to keep your leverage, where to force the guy into playing with your help, communicating through switches with your teammates. It's not left to chance. It's worked on for many reps and well crafted before you ever step on the field for game day. So when it comes time to play, you can go full speed, no hesitation. So the third one is my favorite because it's what most DBs forget you have to do. And this one is running routes, training like a receiver, also working on your hands. When you think about it, we are receivers, we just start backwards. As soon as you flip around, we do the same thing. And what I always say, to cover a receiver, you have to move like a receiver. So you got to get on the field, running routes, working on your hands to catch balls, because when the ball's in your air, that's yours. If you don't work on it, you're going to have trouble tracking the ball, and you'll just be sloppy on the field. Now, you ever get beat on a comeback route, for example, you know he's about to break down, but he still just manages to get space on you? Well, this is exactly why. You just have to get used to moving the same way they do, and you'll be able to mimic it a lot better when playing defensive back. So for number 4, think about this. I'm sure you realize as you progress with football, the higher up you get, the more everybody seems to be an athlete. It's harder to be a standout, say if you were in high school, because you go to university or college and everyone's a little bit faster. So what could you do for yourself to keep a good competitive edge? And the answer to that is work on the mental side of the game and watch a lot of film. Now, Ed Reed, for example, somebody who is known, very physically gifted, but obsessed over watching film. Think about it like this. If you know what the team's about to do, you know where you have to be and what you need to do to make the play. So you have to watch film on the other teams. Think about right now, do a quick test. How many receivers can you name on other teams in the league? A lot, just a couple. You should know your opponent, know who you're going up against, their strengths and weaknesses, and then also the offense's tendencies, what plays they like to run, where at the field do they like to run it, at what time of the game. There's a lot to go into this, and we'll make a video on how to watch film as a DB later on, so make sure to subscribe for more. But this one's really about learning everything mentally, so when it comes time to playing on the field, you can do everything with no hesitation. And also, of course, you have to know the hell out of your defense. Lots of guys will show up camp first year and not know what's going on and expect to play. But it's your defense. You have to know who's reading who, which routes you could jump, what the play calls are, what the signs are. You have to put yourself in the best position possible to go out there and perform. Football is a game of war and deception. Study your opponent to beat them, and study yourself to out-improve your competition. The last pillar of training like an NFL defensive back is your mentality. You have to go out there on the field with a ball hawk mentality that whenever the ball is in the air, it's yours. When you're making tackles, you have to have it in your mind that that's your prey you're hunting down, and you're doing it with no fear. And then you also have to lead your team with a championship mentality. Stay positive, stay humbled, always be striving for greatness in every rep in practice and in the game, and never stop improving. The more you expose yourself to the perspectives of the GOATs out there and listen to their wisdom, and also the more you meditate to find out what really matters to you internally, that's how you will develop a strong base and always stay present in the moment, ready to dominate. Now, the other side of mentality is completely draining yourself physically in a workout and just having to have the mental strength to tell yourself to keep going. I'm sure you've experienced this if you've done a really hard run or different lifts and just keep going. When you want to quit, when you're about to cramp, when your body wants to just drop to the floor, those are the workouts that you might say, do I really have to do this in football? Is it going to help that much? But you got to work on your mentality as well. So you never want to quit in a workout. Keep every rep accounted for, because if you always finish everything and you do what you always say you're going to do, that is how you build confidence. And when you go out there on game day, you're truly confident that you're going to go and beat your opponent, because you prepared the right way, you did what you said you were going to do, you didn't cheat here and cheat there. Because if you cheat everything, when it comes time for game day, that's going to be in the back of your head, and you won't have full confidence in yourself. Now, there's a lot more detail we could get into, such as goal setting, workout programs, specifics of anything really. These are just the 5 main pillars. Make sure you subscribe to the account to learn a lot more about the specifics. Now, again, if you fail to do any of these pillars, speed and strength, athleticism, DB work with your eyes, different drills, breaks, switches, all that, receiver work such as running routes, working on your hands, mental side with film, other than mentality. If you fail any one of these, you will never become the player you want to be, and you will die unsatisfied. So make sure in your training, whatever your schedule, your program looks like, you're always working on these 5 aspects, and I promise you, you will see the results. They're coming soon.